Alright, so make sure this okay. Me going over C++, 1.11, like making our first program and shit. Should be pretty fucking easy. It's gonna be, we're just gonna, yeah, I don't even know what it's gonna be, but it's just gonna be some easy shit. But if you want to learn about, I am gonna make a video probably tomorrow about code caves, which I'm probably gonna have to re-go over code caves and then go over code caves and DLLs because I was going over it earlier and like I was kind of lost, but we're gonna be doing it on the game there. So we're gonna be going over Battlefield Noth. Just downloaded it. So, but yeah, I'm probably gonna be uploading that video tomorrow because it's getting pretty late already. It's already 10:41. So, anyways, I'm gonna be going over. Same with that for tomorrow. I'm just gonna be going over some basic C++ today. We'll see how much I do. Maybe like an hour or something. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Let's get started here. Okay, developing your first program. The preceding lessons have introduced a lot of terminology and concepts that we'll use in just about every program we create. In this lesson, we'll walk through the process of integrating this knowledge into our first simple program. First, let's create a program that asks the user to enter an integer, waits an input integer, then tells them what two times the number is. The program should produce the following output, assumed I entered 4 as an input. Enter an integer 4, double that number is 8. Best practice, new programmers often try to write an entire program all at once and get over one when it produces a lot of errors. A better strategy is to add one piece at a time, make sure it compiles and test it. So let's just pull up project. Good project 4. Should be just a random project. Yeah. Sorry, I was showing my friends something. What was this when I was showing y'all something? So okay. Alright, so I'm gonna do what they said first. So we want to make a program that multiplies, then wants to enter an integer and then double that number, right? So we're just gonna do that for them real quick. So first thing I would do was I would assign, or I would get an integer. So I would do int. This is our type number. Now I gotta make an identifier for it. Make it number. So int number, and make sure you always initialize, right? Like we were taught, right? So we're gonna do list initialization. Initialize our number real quick. This one release mode. And then we need to make it so what we need to do. We make it so an integer is an integer and then double that number, right? So let's do standard count enter an integer. And then let's do standard inline. Let's take that and store it within our number variable that we created. So they're gonna enter an integer. Then we're gonna use the standard character input with the extraction operators and store it within the number variable. So then we're going to print out. They want us to double that number is. So double that number is number times 2. Okay, then it looks pretty complicated, but let's make this return 0. All right. It's an integer. Well, I put in my, it would say, well, I'm gonna actually fix this real quick. We don't want it in line right here. Just have it do that. That should be good. Enter an integer. Just say 8. It already creates a new line after you do that. Go ahead and state that then. Integer 8. Double that number is 16. Okay, cool. That was pretty fucking easy. Did I explain that all properly? So basically, I'll just re-explain it real quick. So we used a variable called number to type integer. We initialized it with 0. Didn't get any warnings, right? We don't want to have uninitialized variables at all. Then we did standard character input told to enter an integer. We did standard character, oh, that was standard character output, my bad. Then we did standard character input. We use extraction operators, input it into the number variable, so it stores it within this, right? Then we did another output. So double that number is our number, which whatever they type in, times a literal constant of 2, which just can't be changed because it's not a variable, right? And then yeah, so I feel like that's pretty fucking simple. How do not know. All right, so we'll leverage that strategy here as we go through each step. Type, don't copy / paste each program into your code editor, compile and run it. First, create a new console project. Now let's start with some basic scaffolding. We know that we're going to need a main function since all C++ programs must have one. So your IDE doesn't create a blank one when you create a new project. Let's create one. So the type is integer. The identifier is main. And within the code block, we have return 0 because it has, well, I guess this should be considered the return type for functions because it's not actually the type of it, it's whatever is returned to the function. So you have to return an integer, so you return 0. We know you're going to need to output text to the console and get text from the user's keyboard. So now we need to include IOStream for access to standard character output and standard character input. Such like include IOStream, integer main, return 0. Okay, so we're including the IOStream for the standard library. Now let's tell the user that we need them to enter an integer. So enter an integer. At this point, your program should produce this result, enter an integer, and then terminate. And next, we're going to get these input. We use standard character input and operator extraction to get these input, but we also need to define a variable to store the input for use later. They made integer num, define variable num as an integer variable. They didn't initialize it to anything, which I guess it doesn't really matter because you're about to take input and put it inside of there. But time to compile our changes, and what's the author got? Visual Studio 2017. Binary extraction new operator found, then takes a left-hand operand of standard IOStream, or there is no acceptable conversion. What is this thing talking about? Fuck. Could be built. Well, this is from bool to integer, but I don't. Standard character input num. Find a variable as a num integer. I don't know where this error is, to be honest. I'm probably gonna look retarded when I say this. Run into a compiler first. Since the program compiled before we made this latest update and doesn't compile now, there must be within the code lines. Significantly reduces the amount of code. We have to scan to find the error. Line 17 is pretty straightforward. It's a variable definition, so the error probably isn't there. That is line 8 is likely culprit. Second, this error message isn't very easy to read, but let's pick apart some key elements. Compiler is telling us to run into an error. This thing about a boolean and oh my god, it's using output operators instead of extraction operators. Oh my god, bro. Let's just like see the error now if you don't. Take a moment and see if you can find it. Here's a program that contains the correct code. Okay. Now the program will compile and we can test it. The program will wait for you to enter a number, so let's enter 4. The output should look like this. Enter an integer 4. Almost there. Last step is double the number. Once we finish this step, almost there. Let's double now. Once we finish this step, our program will compile and run successfully, producing the desired output. There are at least 3 ways we can go about this. Go from worst to best. The not good solution, setting num equal to num times 2, double num's value, then assign that value back to num. The solution, we can use an extraction to multiply num by 2. Then assign that value back to num. From that point forward, num will contain our double number. Why is the best solution? Before the assignment statement, num contains user input. After the assignment, it contains a different value. That's confusing. We overwrote the user input by sending a value to the input variable. Okay, the mostly good solution. Less bad version. Int main. Okay, they made a new variable called double num, which is just num multiplied by 2. Define a new variable and print it up. This solution is pretty straightforward. Okay, Okay, the primary downside here is that we're defining a variable, which adds complexity to stored value. We can always do better. The preferred solution. Oh, that's funny. The preferred solution is exactly what I did. That's fucking hilarious. Alright, this is preferred solution of the bunch when standard character output executes the expression num times 2 will get evaluated, and the result will double num's value. That value will get printed. The value in num itself will not be altered, so we can use it again later if we wish. This version is our reference solution. First important goal of program is to make your program work. Program that does not work. So solutions. I'm not gonna read through all this shit. One more thing you may be thinking, C++ has so many rules and concepts, how to remember all this stuff. Short answer, you don't. C++ is one part using what you know and two parts looking up how to do the rest. As you read through this site for the first time, focus less on memorizing specifics and more on understanding what's possible. Then when you have a need to implement something in a program you're writing, you can come back here or to reference site and refresh yourself on how to do so. Modifies the solution to the best solution program that above so that outputs like this, assuming user input 4. So enter an integer 4, double 4 is 8, triple 4 is 12. It wants us to modify this. Oh, there's no code to modify, but I mean, I would just do it exactly how we have in here, except. So they entered 4. So double that number is okay, and it's pretty easy. Triple that number is number times 3. Ooh, who would have thought? Let's do single quotations x/n 5. Oh, snap. Okay. No, well, I mean, I didn't feel like changing up my code to add that part. It's pretty pointless, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious what to be done there. Chapter 1 summary and quiz. Okay. So long, this video's been going on for 12 minutes only. Let's fucking go. Have a lot more time on our hands. Who is this, bro? I need assistance on a glass theme for Windows 10. Fucking dumbass shows up. I just came with the bump. A statement is a type of instruction that causes the program to do some action. Statements often terminated by a semicolon. I was just going to go over everything. Chapter 1 summary and quiz. Well, let's go over the quiz first. What is the difference between initialization and assignment? Assignment is copying a value to your variable. Remember using the assignment operator. Initialization is making the variable initialized with the value, right? Initialization provides a variable with initial value at the point of creation. Assignment gives a variable a new value after the variable has already been defined. True that. When does undefined behavior occur? What are the consequences of undefined behavior? Undefined behavior occurs when. No, I guess when variables are initialized, undefined behavior can occur when things aren't, when memory isn't closed up properly or collected properly or disposed of properly. Undefined behavior can occur. Yeah, if you try to use a variable that isn't initialized, it'll just be some random ass shit. I don't really know though. Let's go read up on undefined behavior real quick. I guess I would just take that and see what happens. Because when the program is something that is ill specified by the C++ language, the consequences could be almost anything from crashing to producing the wrong answer to working correctly anyway. Oh, okay. Well, I guess yeah. That when the undefined behavior occurs when the program is something that is ill specified by the C++ language. Okay. Write a program that asks the user to enter a number and then enter a second number. The program should tell the user what the result of adding and subtracting the two numbers is. The output of the program should match the following, assuming inputs of 6 and 4. Enter an integer 6, enter an integer 4. So it wants us to tell us to print a period new line. Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously, because it's going to be more than writing a program that does. Okay, so we want it to be look like this, right? We want it to print out exactly like this. I can easily do that. So we're gonna be taking new two numbers. So let's do int number 2. So standard character output. Enter a number. Okay. Standard character input. A number. Okay. So let's make this number 1 to make it look better. Okay. Enter a second number. Okay, semicolon. Then extraction operators number 2. Alright, then what we want to do, we want it to print out, so standard character output, print out number 1, the plus sign, plus number 2, is number 1 plus number 2. Okay, let's just copy and paste all that shit. Minus is number 1 minus number 2. Okay, this should print out exactly as they have it right there. Let's add a return 0 to the end. Alright. Never center 10, 5. Oh my god, I did not add fucking backslash n right there. So 5 plus 5 is, let me add a, bruh, this shit's not in quotations because it's fucking white space, or spaces count as, okay, 5 plus 5 is 10, 5 minus 5 is 0. Alright, cool. That's exactly what they did, okay. Yep, that's exactly what I did too. Alright, cool. I know exactly what I did to define my variables at the start. I'm not going to redefine in the middle of coding. Okay, I didn't realize you guys are writing comments or everything they're doing. Should I also be doing that also? Should I want me to write comments? I mean, it's like, this is so obvious what's happening. Entering a number. Okay. Initialization of variables. Entering integers to compute. Printing out the addition sum and subtraction sum. Okay, cool. Well, there we did some fucking comments. Okay, cool. Yeah, that was pretty fucking easy. Let's go. I'm gonna go over all this stuff real quick. So, a statement is a type of instruction that causes the program to perform some action. Statements are determined by semicolon. Function is a collection of statements that execute sequentially. Every C++ program must include a special function in main. When you run your program, execution starts at the top of the main function. Programming the name of a function or object type, template, etc. is called an identifier. The rules that govern how elements of the C++ language are constructed is called syntax. Syntax error occurs when you violate the grammatical rules of the language. Comments allow the programmer to leave notes in code. C++ supports 2 types of comments. Line comments start with / and run to the end of the line. Block comments start with / and go to the paired / or * symbol. Don't nest block comments. You can use comments temporarily to disable lines or sections of code. This is called commenting out your code. Data is any information that can be removed. Process stored by computer. A single piece of data is called a value. Common examples of values include letters, for example, A, numbers, for example, 5, and text, for example, hello. Variable is a named piece of memory that we can use to store values. In order to create a variable, we use a statement called a definition statement. When the program is run, each defined variable is instantiated, which means it is assigned a memory address. Data type tells the compiler how to interpret a piece of data to a meaningful value. An integer is a number that can be written without a fractional component, such as 4, 27, 0, -2, or 12, or -12. Copy assignment via operator assignment can be used to assign already created variable a value. The process of specifying an initial value for an object called initialization. The syntax is to initialize an object is called initializer. Simplified C++ supports 6 basics initialization. Default initialization in most cases is variable and intermediate value. Copy initialization int x equals 5. Direct initialization int x equals int x 5. Direct list initialization narrowing conversions is allowed. Copy list initialization narrowing conversions is allowed. Value initialization usually performs 0 initialization. So yeah, I'm probably gonna do direct list initialization. So I'm gonna be doing probably. Direct initialization is sometimes called parenthesis initialization, and list initialization, including value initialization, is also called uniform initialization or brace initialization. You should prefer brace initialization over the other initialized versions or forms, and prefer initialization over assignment. Although you can define multiple variables in a single statement, it's better to define and initialize each variable on its own line. And a separate statement, standard character output, operator output allows us to output the results of a expression to the console. Standard character or standard inline outputs a new line character, forcing the console cursor to move to the next line. Flushes any inputting output at the console. The \n character also outputs a new line character, but lets the system decide whether to flush the output. Be careful not to use /n. The character input and operator extraction allows us to get a value from the keyboard. A variable that has not been given a value is called an uninitialized variable. Trying to get the value of an uninitialized variable will result in undefined behavior, which can manifest in many number of ways. C++ observes that instead of names called keywords, these have special meanings. In the language, it may not be used as variable names. A literal constant is a value fixed inserted directly into your C++ code, example 5 in Hello World. An operation is a process involving 0 or more input values called operands. A specific operation can be performed is denoted by the provided operator. The result of an operation produces an output value. Unary operators take 1 operand. Binary operators take 2 operands, often called left and right. Ternary operators take 3 operands. Nullary operators take 0 operands. An expression is the sequence of literals, variables, operators, and function calls that are evaluated to produce a single output value. The calculation of this output value is called evaluation. The value produces the result of the expression. The expression statement is an expression that has been turned into a statement by placing a semicolon at the end of the expression. And when writing programs, add a few lines or a function to compile or resolve any errors and make sure it works. Don't wait until you've written an entire program before compiling it for the first time. Focus on getting your code working. Once you are sure you are going to keep some bit of code, then you can spend time removing or commenting out temporary / debugging code, adding comments, handling error cases, formatting your code, ensuring best practices are followed, removing redundant logic, etc. First draft programs are often messy and perfect. Most code requires cleanup and refinement to get to great. Oh shit, that was a lot of fucking read right there, bro. 23 minutes. I'm just gonna call it here for the day, bro. I'm gonna go work on this code cave shit for this game hacking academy video. Thanks for watching.